It's Thursday, May the 11th. This is Business Incorporated coming to you live from our global headquarters here in Lagos. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagu. On the program today, Moody's Investors Services issues favorable projections of the Nigerian economy. Kenya approves law which allows low-income earners to secure loans from banks using livestock and household appliances as collateral. Plus, Zambia's president calls for an out-of-court settlement with First Quantum Minerals, which is being sued for $1.4 billion by a state-owned firm. Let's get started now. And here in Nigeria, Moody's Investors Services has issued favorable projections of the economy at a closed-door meeting with the analyst community held in Lagos. Moody's says Nigeria's economy will grow 2.5% this year, followed by a 4% growth in 2008 on the back of positive base effects for the oil economy, rapid large infrastructure spending, oil price increase and measures to expand non-oil sectors. The rating agency sees inflation at 17% year-on-year in 2017, in line with estimate of 16.7% by analysts at FBN Quest. On the currency market, Moody's Investors Services says current foreign exchange liquidity is more cyclical than structural and may change if oil prices fall again, forcing the central bank to reduce FX sales. Meantime, the outlook on the domestic banking sector was resilient despite the current challenging environment. And to the markets now, and here in Africa, Nigerian stocks were trading higher at intraday with more activities seen on the banking stocks. And one factor behind the market's rise is said to be the news that Moody's has maintained a stable outlook for Nigeria's banking sector, with the ratings agency noting that acute foreign currency shortages were set to ease. The index was trading high by 2.51% at noon. Looking at all the markets we track on this program, the South African market was down 0.41%. Egypt's markets down 0.33%. Kenya closed down 0.06% on Wednesday. In the Middle East, most of the markets we are looking up at intraday, except for Saudi, which dropped 0.35%. Abu Dhabi was up 0.58%. Dubai financial markets was trading up 0.74%, and Qatar Stock Exchange was up 1.19%. And investors in Europe are digesting the latest batch of corporate earnings and reacting to strong gains in oil prices. The central bank governors and finance ministers from the Group of Seven are also meeting in the city of Bari, Italy, from today to Saturday. For details, let's bring in Conrad Busen, my colleague at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Good afternoon, Conrad. Thank you very much for joining us. It's good to see you again. Now, how are the markets interpreting Wednesday's face-off between ECB Chief Mario Draghi and Dutch lawmakers on monetary stimulus and pressure for policy change on Frankfurt?
Well, you know, Jimmy, there's a quote from our very famous German poet Goethe, which every student in Germany has to learn in school. Two souls, alas, are dwelling in my breast. That's what you can say when you are really in a dilemma. And when you talk to people here about this, clash between Draghi and the lawmakers in the Netherlands, which is, of course, when you talk to them about what's going on in terms of monetary policy at the moment here in the euro area, they really have two souls in their breast. They really are in the dilemma. On the one hand, like the lawmakers in the Netherlands, they see that the super low interest rates and the very generous super extra monetary policy measures by the European Central Bank have a very negative impact on the way how pensions are managed. You know, the pension managers need higher interest rates. But on the other hand, people here are also quite aware that the super low interest rates and the monetary policy by the central bank has been effectuated in a way which is very market-friendly. It has contributed to the record highs on the equity markets. But this clash also, of course, indicates that the pressure is rising on Draghi and his colleagues to at least consider some tapering of this generous money supply, maybe end those bond purchases, or at least not prolong them very much further. At the moment, the plan is to end them at the end of December.
Right, I can see this dilemma mood of investors seem to be affecting the DAX as we speak right now. We can see that index notching down. Well, let's look at the group of 7 central bank governors and finance ministers that are beginning their meetings today in Italy. What significant issues are on their agenda this time around?
Well, according to what's ventilated in the media at the moment, what I can tell you is what's not going to be on the agenda is the German trade surplus, a topic which had been very much discussed among the finance minister at their last meeting in Washington in April. What's going to be more in focus at this meeting now is what's going on in the United States. Steven Mnuchin, the U.S. finance minister, will be there, and his colleagues will have a lot of questions about what to expect from Donald Trump when he starts his infrastructure spending and his tax cuts. And one particular focus will most probably be bank regulation. You know, during his campaign, Trump talked a lot about, getting rid of too much regulation, also when it comes to the banking sector. Only recently then he talked about the idea that he might separate the risky parts of the American banking system from the not so risky parts, which sounded like a reintroduction of the Glass-Steagall Act. As always, when it comes to Mr. Trump, everything sounds a bit erratic. So, of course, the finance ministers and, of course, the public wants to hear a couple of more maybe reliable details from Mr. Mnuchin, what to expect there in terms of this U.S. policy.
Now, Conrad, aside from the issues you have talked about, your earnings season seems unending, not with a fresh batch from the likes of 2 lenders, Crédit Agricole and UniCredit.
Yes, those 2 earnings reports of those 2 large banks, UniCredit from Italy, Crédit Agricole from France, indicate one thing, that the economy in the euro area really has continued to recover, and the large banks, of course, benefit from this. Very positive data driving at least sentiment, not always the stock prices. Of course, on this high level, investors have a tendency to, take a few of those profits off the table, as you can see right behind me, and you mentioned the notch of the DAX. More earnings reports are proving positive economic activity in the Eurozone as well. Lanxess, for example, the chemicals maker, also Henkel, the consumer goods and chemicals maker, Sixt, the car rental company. But there's one really bearish quarterly report out today. It came from the United States. Snap, the mother or parent company of the app Snapchat, reported a $2.2 billion loss during the first quarter, and the share price of Snap is down more than 20% today in European trading. Snap does not really manage to increase its customer base the way that investors had hoped for at the beginning of March when Snap became a publicly listed company. Snap at the moment has only 166 million users daily. The immediate competitor Instagram has 200 million, and Facebook 1.3 billion users are using Facebook daily. Now, there you see the difference, and investors are taking a very close look at that.
Right, thank you very much for those updates, Conrad. Well, I don't know what the weather looks like where you are, but right here in Lagos, it's a rainy day. So I have to let you go now. Thank you very much.